Hello, and welcome back to Race Recap. My name is Jackson. This past weekend we had all three series racing at the Tricky Triangle in Pocono, but the Cup Series was racing two races. So the Truck Series started us off Saturday morning running 60 laps, a very short race. The first caution was brought out on lap 1, didn't even make it to turn 1, it was on the initial start. The 24 truck of Jack Wood missed a gear and was hit in the back by the 18 of Chandler Smith. Wood ended up bouncing off the outside wall hard and came back into traffic and collected the 13 of Johnny Sauter, who also ended up in the outside wall. Sauter was able to continue, but Jack Wood was unable to. The second caution was the Stage 1 winner of Zane Smith. The third caution was the Stage 2 winner of John Henry Nemechek. And the fourth and final caution was brought out when the 52 of Stuart Friesen spun and backed it into the wall and also slapped the right side of his car into the wall as well, but he was able to continue. And the checkered flags of this race went to the 4 of John Henry Nemechek. The top 10 here were John Hunter Nemechek, Kyle Busch, Sheldon Creed, Tyler Ankrum, Austin Hill, Matt Crafton, Todd Gillen, Zane Smith, Ryan Preece, and Derek Kraus rounded out top 10. DNFs in this race, Grant Enfinger had an engine problem, Bailey Curry also had an engine problem, Danny Bone had a transmission issue, and Jack Wood was out for that early accident. Later that day, it was the Cup Series race number 1 at Pocono. They ran 130 laps. The first caution was brought out by debris on track. That took them to the competition caution. The second caution was when the 41 of Cole Custer made contact with 2 of Brad Keselowski, and Custer ended up nose first hard into the front stretch outside wall, ending his day. The third caution was the Stage 1 winner of Kyle Busch. The fourth caution was when the 6 car of Ryan Newman spun and backed into the wall hard. The fifth caution was exiting the final turn in turn 3 and onto the front stretch. The 7 of Corey LaJoie slid up the track into the outside wall and collected the 38 of Anthony Alfredo with him. The sixth caution was brought out in turn 3 again. This time it was the 42 of Ross Chastain who got up into the outside wall and spun back down the track through the grass and was able to continue though. The 7th caution was brought out at the Stage 2 ending, which went to Kurt Busch. And the 8th and final caution was for debris on track. And off the final turn in turn 3 on the last lap, the leader, Kyle Larson, who looked like he had it in the bag for a win, which would have tied for the most wins in NASCAR consecutively in history, but he blew a right front tire and slammed the turn 3 wall. He was able to slide across the finish line in 9th, but the second place driver, Alex Bowman, came home and snuck the win away from him. So the top 10 in the first race were Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, and Brad Keselowski round out top 10. Only 2 DNFs for this race. Ryan Newman was out for the accident, and Cole Custer was also out for the accident. The next day, the Xfinity Series started us off, running 90 laps at Pocono. The first caution was brought out when the 92 of Josh Williams spun and backed it into the wall hard. The second caution was the Stage 1 winner of Harrison Burton. The third caution was a scary crash. It was a red flag. The 11 of Justin Haley spun down and hit the inside wall in the tunnel turn hard, and he came back up across the field and was hit by the 6 car of Ryan Vargas, also very hard in the right rear area of the car. And Haley was unable to race the second Cup race from Pocono, so Justin Allgaier did replace him, but he is okay now. And once they got back going, the fourth caution was brought out when the 20 of Harrison Burton spun and hit driver's side hard into the outside wall, ending his day. The fifth caution was brought out at the Stage 2 winner of Ty Gibbs. And the sixth and final caution was brought out when the 98 car of Riley Herbst spun and backed it into the wall hard. And the checkered flag of this race went to the 22 of Austin Cindric. The top 10 here were Austin Cindric, Ty Gibbs, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, AJ Allmendinger, Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, Jeb Burton, Josh Berry, and Mike Snyder round out top 10. DNF for this race, Blaine Perkins had a suspension issue. Riley Herbst was out for the accident. Joey Gates had a clutch issue. Harrison Burton was out for the accident. Justin Haley was also out for the accident. So was Ryan Vargas and Josh Williams. And the last race of the weekend was the Cup race number 2 from Pocono. A bit longer today, 140 laps, but it was much more uneventful than the first race. The first and only caution for incident was when the 38 of Anthony Alfredo got up into the outside wall in the tunnel turn, but he was able to continue. The second caution was the Stage 1 winner of Martin Truex Jr. The third caution was the Stage 2 winner of William Byron. And the fourth and final caution was for debris on track. And the checker flags of this race went to the 18 car of Kyle Busch. The top 10 in the second Cup race were Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Ryan Preece, Tyler Reddick, and Joey Logano round out the top 10. DNFs for this race, Garrett Smithley had an engine problem, Timmy Hill had a handling issue, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also had an engine problem. Well, that's all for race recap. Come join us next week when the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series are racing at the road course of Road America.